Hello, my nobodies. I have made a story called Stuck in the Suit. Now, it's basically about Five Nights at Freddy's, and if you like it, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment on what you want me to do next or whatever. Let's get into the story. Stuck in the Suit. It was 1985, and it was my brother's birthday. He was turning 9, and his birthday wish was to go to Fredbear's Diner. If you don't already know, Fredbear's Diner is a place where little kids would have their birthdays or genuinely have fun. There is plenty of arcade games to play, and of course, Freddy and the band. You could sit there for hours and watch them play. Freddy is a bear, a brown bear. He wears a black top hat and a nice black bow tie. In his left hand, he held a microphone. His bright blue eyes look at you as he sings. They flick left to right. Then there's Bonnie and Chica. Bonnie's a purplish bluish bunny. Unlike Freddy, Bonnie's bow tie is red. Most kids preferred Freddy over Bonnie, but I really like Bonnie. He's my favorite. Now, Chica. Chica is the only girl in the band. Chica, hence the name, she's a chicken. She wears a Let's Eat bib on her neck, and it's fonted in big bubble letters. Chica was a rather obscene animatronic, but the new version of her, the new glossier, beautiful toy Chica version of her, is a lot slimmer. Enough about the animatronics. Let's talk about Fredbear's Diner's history. In the past, there have been a few incidents, and when I say incidents, quote unquote, I don't mean a kid got hurt and was in the cast the next day, or a kid was running and skinned their knee. When I say quote unquote incidents, I mean missing children and bites. Let me take you back to the year 1983. It was a normal day at Fredbear's Diner. Like usual, there was a birthday party. And the birthday kid wasn't just a birthday kid, it was William Afton's son. William Afton's son was terrified of the animatronics. The way their dead eyes looked at you as they sang was nightmare fuel in his opinion. Christopher Evan Afton would hide under the tables because he was so afraid of the animatronics. But he got bullied for doing so. They would call him a big baby or a crybaby. In fact, his nickname to every one of his bullies was Crying Child, or for short, Cece. He had begged his dad to let him have his birthday somewhere else, but his so-called father said, "Suck it up, you're not a baby anymore," followed by a sigh of disappointment. Oh, poor Christopher. Even his brother bullied him. Since Chris didn't like animatronics, his older brother Michael Afton decided to steal a Foxy mask, and with every chance Michael got, he would scare the crap out of his brother. But Cece also had a sister, Elizabeth Afton. She was different, not just in personality, but in looks too. She was a strawberry blonde, pale, and had bright green eyes. She loved the color pink. She wore a pink bow along with a pink button-up shirt with a nice blue denim skirt. But Chris and Michael had brown hair. Michael's was just a bit darker. Chris had brown eyes and Michael had bright blue eyes, like his dad. Elizabeth was certainly different. Maybe she had their late mother's genes. Their father said she divorced him after Elizabeth was born, over reasons he wouldn't tell them. She went to live somewhere new, but on her way to this quote-unquote new place, she was brutally murdered. Someone slit her throat, and she had cuts, scrapes, and bruises all over her body. Michael said he had a few memories of their mother. Chris had none since he was little, and the same with Elizabeth, since she was just a baby and the brain starts developing memories around 3 or 4. Michael, whenever he would talk about Mom, he would tell them that, yeah, she was a blonde, but not like Elizabeth. Elizabeth was certainly a mystery. But enough about her. That's a story for another time. This story is all about Christopher Evan Acton. On the day of Chris's birthday, tragedy strikes. His bullies were at it once again, messing with him. They pushed him around, calling him crybaby over and over. Through his tears and shame, he yelled, "Stop, I don't like it." He sniffed. That's when his brother laughed. "You're not supposed to," and grabbed Cece by the waist. Michael laughed maniacally. The stone-cold blue eyes shone through the foxy mask. "Please stop," Chris whispered, but Michael took no mercy on his brother. "Hey guys, I think he wants to give Fredbear a kiss," Chris whimpered as his own brother put his head into Freddy's mouth. Fredbear's teeth scraped along Chris's neck. He let out a cry for help. He heard his brother and his friends laughing at his pain. Chris cried one last time. The next thing you could hear was the crunch of Fredbear biting down on Chris's head. Blood flowed down Chris's neck like a waterfall, soaking his clothes. Michael and his friends stopped laughing immediately. Chris was putting up a struggle, but now he was limp. Fredbear's teeth were soaked with Chris's blood. "Chris?" Michael said, a shake in his voice. The boy was so still. A dead still. "Chris!" Michael yelled. "This isn't funny," Michael said, pulling the foxy mask off his face, revealing that he had gone pale. Michael turned to ask for help, but everyone was gone. His friends flew the coop. "Dad? Somebody, come help!" Michael yelled. Soon enough, employees and adults came to help. A woman screamed when she saw the bloody scene, and then she fainted on the spot. A man ran over to help her. Another man shielded his daughter's eyes. A crowd had formed. William had to push through. He yelled at Michael once he saw the scene. "Michael, did you do this?" William said in frustration. Michael trailed off, using his words carefully. "It was an accident. I swear." William screamed in frustration. "Look at what you done to Chris." "The ambulance is on its way, Mr. Afton," a man shouted from the crowd. Chris's body was soaked in blood. The blood was still flowing like a crimson red waterfall. Michael let out a sigh and ran away from the scene, his father yelling after him, "Get back here!" Michael felt guilt. It wasn't supposed to happen. He covered his face and sat down on the steps to the entrance. "Not like this," Michael said aloud. Chris will be okay, he thought. His thoughts were soon concluded when he heard sirens. He looked up. There was the ambulance. A medic got out of the ambulance and ran up the steps. Michael quickly got out of the way. There, 3 other medics rushed in holding a stretcher. This was all his fault. He now had blood on his hands. What would everyone think of him? What would he do? A whole minute passed, and the medics walked out of Fredbear's covered in blood. Chris's blood. They held the stretcher, and on the stretcher was Chris. Michael gagged at the sight. His brother's whole inner lobe was gone. You could see his brain, or at least what was left of it. William was walking into the ambulance with Chris and the medics. Michael felt invisible. No one paid attention to him. No one even batted an eye at him. Michael stood there silently as the ambulance rushed away, leaving Michael in solitude. No one knows what happened to Michael. People say he was sent to juvie and others say he killed himself, but there's a certain people that say he got a job at one of his father's new establishments, Circus Baby's Pizza. The ride to the new Fredbear's was long. My iPad died on the way there, leaving me with nothing to do but look out the window. My brother was talking to my father about how the new Chica was skinnier than the old one. The new glossy animatronics at this establishment were okay. Bonnie was definitely different. Bonnie was completely blue and had green eyes. A bright red candy guitar, but he had his classic red bow tie, so Bonnie was okay. When we arrived, I was absolutely ecstatic, only because I wanted to play all of the arcade games. And I guess I wanted to see Bonnie in the game. My brother was the first one out of the car when we arrived. I couldn't blame him. He was just excited. "Okay, boys, let's set some ground rules," our mom said. "No eating. Food off the floor. Don't go into the ball pit. It's filled with germs. And finally, don't go anywhere we can't see you. Got it? She said, looking from me to my brother. Yes, I said, looking to the right. Yeah, okay, Mom. Can we go inside now? He asked. Our mom nodded, and my brother sprinted to the entrance. I followed behind. The new Freddy Fazbear's was clean, unlike the last establishment. But it still smelled like pizza. That cheesy pizza made me hungry. The animatronics were performing. I guess we were late. I really didn't like animatronics. It's not that I was afraid of them, I just didn't like their eyes. They were scary, like as if they saw something they couldn't unsee. Boys, have fun, my mother shouted, but my brother, he was nowhere in sight. He wasn't watching Freddy and the band perform. Maybe he's in the arcade room. I walked through the entrance that read arcade. The walls were littered with art, some Freddy and Bonnie, and of course Chica. But there was one I didn't recognize. A puppet? Half its body was in a box. No, a present. The puppet was mainly black and white, but its face was sad but happy. It had long, thick tears pouring from its eyes, along with rosy cheeks and a taunting, wide smile. I shuddered. I'll be seeing that in my nightmares tonight. Nikki, I said. I still couldn't find my brother. I walked past a bunch of arcade games. They had Pac-Man and a few others I'd love to try. I searched the arcade. No Nikki. I noticed a door that read employees only. I gulped. Nikki. Did he go in there? No. He knew better. Right? I continued to walk through an arch, and above it read office. Why would an office not have a door? I looked around nervously. The whole atmosphere of the place was chilling. I felt like I was being watched. Nikki, I say again. Then at that moment, I saw something move. I don't know what though. That's when I noticed a Freddy mask peeking at me from behind the desk. I walked closer. The hairs on my arm stood up. I was now 2 feet away from the mask. I could see human eyes through the eye sockets. Nikki, I said, taking the mask off the person's head. But when I did, it definitely wasn't Nikki. This kid had been killed. I yelped in horror. The boy had brown hair. He was African American, and his brown eyes stared into my soul. I felt bad. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. It was like I was in a trance. I felt a hand touch my back. I jumped in surprise. I turned around to see Nikki. Nikki, where have you been? Nikki stared at me. But then, he said, I went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, he said. I looked back to the dead kid. He was gone. I looked back to Nikki. He was now staring at me confused. Are you okay? Nikki asked me. I looked back at the desk. Why didn't you tell us that you went to the bathroom? I confronted him. I tried, but you kept walking into the arcade. I even yelled your name a few times. Still, you didn't stop. So I just gave up. Nikki said. I was dumbfounded. I had no remembrance of hearing Nikki yell my name. Whatever, I'm going to go and watch Freddy and the band, and then play a few arcade games, Nikki said. Okay, I said, not sure what to think. I walked to the chair that sat behind the desk. Part of me felt like I should be here. I watched as Nikki left. He walked down the long black hallway. It was scary. I sat in the chair. It was one of those spinning chairs. I spun around in it a few times. Then I stopped when I saw something move again in the corner of my eye. I looked around carefully, but I saw nothing. Other than a rotatory fan, the Freddy mask I left sitting on the table, a newspaper. Wait a minute, a newspaper? It caught my eye. The headline read, Missing Children. The article talked about how the kids went missing in Freddy's. I heard about this a while ago on the news, and I know about the bite of 83. It's surprising that our parents did let us come here. I looked left to right. I noticed a vent in the wall. I looked to the right, another vent. I was confused. I felt uncomfortable looking into the pitch black hallway. I got up, giving a second glance at the desk, then looked back to the long dark hallway. I I swore I thought I saw something. I ran through the door and went to the arcade. I then bumped into a mascot. I looked up and saw a yellow, bunny mascot head, with dead eyes staring at me through the sockets. I screamed in horror as he grabbed my waist and started running with me.